And we're going to start with James Romberger.
I guess this is the right height. This is called Man in Brew and Burger on 42nd Street and 8th Avenue, New York City. Actually, I'd read an earlier version of this monologue, and Dave and I used it in our book, 7 Miles a Second, for a character that was his trick. I picked him up as a kid in Nathan's. Anyway, I guess things are going okay. A little slow since the convention in Portland. My son's out of the army, finally off drugs. He's not so much of a problem anymore. My wife still gets angry as hell, but I don't know what to say to him. I mean, he's working fairly regularly. He drives a cab. Starts around midnight, works till 6 o'clock in the morning. We hardly have words these days, because when he gets home around 7, he goes right upstairs and hits the sack. Some nights, he'll get into all-night card game with the fellows down at the taxi stand. I can't get angry with him. I mean, I don't know what he's been going through. He used to be a beautiful kid, long hair, built like an athlete. Now he's gained weight. He's up to 280 pounds and lays around most of the time drinking beer. But he does work. He rides in the car I bought him 2 years ago. God, you should see that car now. What a mess. The two sides dented in like a nutcracker squeezed in. Back fender's hanging off. Some days the back seat is piled up to the rear ledge with beer cans. My wife gets really upset because she's home all day. They don't get along too well. My other kids, though, my daughter now, she's a real doll. She's a sophomore in college now. She's engaged to this terrific young fella who's with RCA. The two of them flew off for a week to the Keys together. Anyway, work's been slow for me since the beginning of the year. I feel bad because I'm not pulling my share of the load. It's just that there's so much mental activity holding me back. I try to stay away from the city. I've been pretty successful at doing so. I mean, I walk down 42nd Street, and I'm sad to say it's changed so much since 10 years ago. I remember that in the summer of '69, you could walk down the block and there were all these beautiful kids hanging out. Now they're all addicts and in gangs looking to rob you. But occasionally, I still go to those bars in the upper 40s. They have some great music. And the dancing kids are real wild, good-looking kids. And they move in a great way. But I don't go in for the sex in those places. It's like 2 minutes in some smelly dark cabinet and there goes $30. Where I live, I have some wild times. There's young boys in their late teens, 16 or 17, hitchhiking all over the place, and a lot of them are into sex. It's really something I need. I have to keep telling myself, I'm a man with responsibilities. I have an outstanding job and a wonderful family. I really can't afford to get arrested. I lose it all, yet I can't help it. I mean, it's so simple to go for a drive, and after I pick one of these kids up, I work in sex 4 words into the conversation. There's this one kid that goes to high school just a mile from where I work. I picked him up hitchhiking one time, and 3 minutes later, we were in the parking lot of my job in the back seat making love to each other. I've seen him a couple times a week for a while, but I guess he's decided to end it. Hasn't shown up in 3 weeks. I drive over to the school every now and then and wait a half hour or so, but I guess he's not going to show up.